Oh my goodness, have I got a treat for you today? I am extremely blessed and welcome to be sharing this time with my beautiful soul sister, somebody who's become an extremely close friend. I consider her a family member, and also somebody who, in my opinion, I've got goosebumps all over me, has completely unlocked my potential for this planet, this lifetime. Debs is a quantum healer. She brings wholeness via quantum healing, and we're going to go into that. So if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. Debs is going to share all and explain everything in her beautiful way. I just want to say how I met Deb. A mutual friend basically introduced me to Deb, and as soon as I connected with her, my soul knew that this was the journey that she had to go on this lifetime. I was starting to wake up when I met Deb, but I wasn't, I didn't really have the clarity. I'd always been quite a bright soul, but it was putting, almost like a structure around what my soul was needing to do. And, I think Deb is probably going to share at some point throughout over the last few years, whilst I've been working with her, continuously my soul has just been rising and just doing the incredible work that she was put on this planet to do. And I do put it down to this beautiful human being here. I've seen her, my soul has recognized her.
Oh my God.
And it has just remembered constantly. I'm not going to say it hasn't been easy, it's been tough. Deb has pushed me hard over the years. We've had some super straight talking, and the most beautiful thing about it is I just trust Deb completely. My soul trusts Deb. And for any of my members listening, some of you say, I don't know why I picked you. That's why you picked me, like I picked Deb. Deb is the person who we mirror each other. We're literally part of the same unit. It is absolutely unbelievable. And we've just bonded and been able to go on this huge journey together. And I'm just really blessed that, Deb doesn't do these interviews. She doesn't, she's not a on-camera social media kind of person.
Not normally.
I feel so incredibly blessed that she has said yes to me when I asked her, and that you guys get to experience what I, again, see as a gift to the world. So, Deb.
Wow. What do I say to that?
I feel emotional.
Yeah, and I always feel emotional when I connect with you, because we know we're sisters from, other lifetimes. And when people meet me again, it's normally because of that. So all you do is get out of each other's human way, and you just connect at a soul level, and everything unfolds. You're right, I don't normally do these interviews. I like to be in the background of people like you that are making such a difference on the planet, babe. You know, this is emotional for me.
I'm going to get
so.
I can feel it.
Yeah. Peeps, this is how we work. We're real and authentic. You have taken what I've shared, which we both know on other levels, and you have been consistent, you've done your work, and you've always fronted up. And we've always been authentic, like we are right now with our sharing. So this world needs that authenticity. It needs people to step up, and it needs people to be honest to their process, and even front up like I am today, So, it's an honor to work with you. But when I look at you and I think about, a few years back, everybody can do this. I want everybody to know they can do this, but they've got to be consistent with what they do in their lives,
The way that
and hopefully today.
The way that I always say actually at the moment is you can't half-ass this stuff. You can't dip your toe in.
No.
You've got to go with it. And you need to show up every single day if you want to be that person.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. You have got to live. You've got to, first of all, you believe something, right? You might read it, you might intellectualize something. Then you really start to act on that, and then it becomes your knowing. If you've really got to live in your knowing, and that's what you did. I remember even in the beginning, you said to me, Deb, back a few years ago, I'm not sure what it is we're doing or what you mean right now, but I'm going to trust it, right? And then you would go, oh my God, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. And I mean, the thing is, but the difference between you and some people is that you took it and you ran with it. You played with it. You practiced it. You fronted up. So yeah, you made it your own, and now you're walking with your higher self. And that's what everyone's going to do on this planet, no matter what. They can be, doing it slow or doing it fast. I tend to sort of move at one pace. You do. It suits us, Yeah. But you know what? We're in such a huge phase on this planet as well. And people, I know when they come to me, they say to me, oh my God, you shared what the bigger picture was. And then I could put what was happening to me inside that picture. And then I felt more safe. I felt more solid in my own world in a way, because this world's got us feeling very fractious, You don't have to be that way. You can really be quite solid right now in your life. You can live in a way beyond this crap. Let's call it what it is, But it's a big change in time. It is. Yeah. So should we share with the people? Because when we first started, I just love pictures, right? Because for me, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And this morning, before I got on the call, I was like, draw the picture that you drew with Lucy, because then it helps remind people. And babe, some of your peeps already know this stuff.
Yeah. And
some of them
it'll be a good reminder, right?
Yeah. Some of them know it, and some of them it might be new. But the thing is, what I'm going to share, guys, is, can I say this? It's what I know. This is not belief. This is like what I know to the core of my being. Absolutely. Yeah. So let's look at this picture. Yeah.
What I'm going to do just quickly, so just so everybody knows, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here on Friday, the 23rd of October. Deb is actually in Melbourne, which is why we're like I look a bit tired because it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and Deb's, she's had her day already, so it's the start of my day, and it's
true
towards the end of her day. So now I'm going to make you the speaker view so you can share the picture. Grab your phones, everybody, because you are going to want to take a photo of this. It will be something that you want to save on your phone, and you are going to want to use it going forwards. So Debs, I'm going to make you speaker now so you can share that, darling.
All right, so let me lift it up. Just tell me when I've got it to a place where you feel it's right. So I just give people time to take a little snapshot, because we're going to speak to that, right? Because it's a great picture of, excuse my little stick man and all.
I love it.
But look, it's awesome, because it just explains what's happening. So what I always say to people, right, because people have got this really weird idea of they're very small, they can't do anything, they're limited, etc. And I love what you just shared on Facebook. I think it was a couple of days ago. Look, we're powerful beings. We're energy. We're vibration. We can change the world. We can, right? But most people think of themselves as too small. Yeah. So this picture helps. So this is what I know to be true. So first of all, oh my God, we are in a time that's never been before. So we need to remember that. This is not a situation we've actually been in before. Everybody's going to end up embodying their higher self or connecting like we are, right? We are moving from what we might term as a 3D kind of lower frequency reality into a 5D plus energy reality. I don't really like numbers and stuff, so I always think of it like this. I think we're moving from the old game to the new game, right? Let's just put it that way. Yeah, we're shifting from one paradigm to the other. When you actually think of it like that, you can see why there's a lot of clearing going on. Like there's cleansing left, right, and center. So the planet's cleansing with the weather patterns. People are cleansing, so that's why all their stuff's up. All their crookedness that's coming up is happening, it's coming up for them to move it on, just to bring wholeness to it. So there's this individual clearing, and then there's this collective clearing. So when you get one of the things to do is to place yourself in that, right? So like I think of us as like a soul matrix. So when I see people, or when people connect in with me, I see like a mandala, because my mind's very holographic. You know how this works. And I see like dimensions of people, and I see their wholeness. And that's pretty tricky to convey to someone when they're connecting with me, because they're just thinking about who they are and I've had a few lives. Well, I'm like, not really. Like when I looked at you, I saw a huge soul matrix, babe. Like, guys, you know, that picture that was just shared, a soul matrix, think of it as a cake. You're a cake. Like, you're a cake of levels, yumminess. There'll be chocolate cream in there, all sorts of things. But you're a soul cake, right? And in a way, you're right in the center of your cake right now. And what's happening is people are clearing what they haven't sorted in their old lives, right? At the moment, it's coming in towards them, right? They're clearing it, and they're also bringing their wisdom back at the same time. So everyone's got heaps going on. They'll have a really good day and then a really crap day, because they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So that's actually quite normal. When people do sessions, we just quicken it. That's all. But really, it's on automatic. You know, you're all brilliant beings. It's on automatic. Yeah. But there's ways of working through that, or flowing through that, you know. Yeah. So if you think about it, and you're a matrix.
Can I just say something before we go on? Because I think it's really important that people... There is a lot of people at the moment, because of the situation on the planet, and there's a huge divide taking place at the moment, right? And that's purposeful for people to step through their stuff. It's purposeful. We have to have people that are conservative over Labour here in the UK, or black versus white. You know, that division needs to take place right now, so that our human and our soul and our matrix, like Deb is speaking us through, gets the evolution that it needs to rise up. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I personally, you know, I'm very out there on social media. It's quite, you know, I'm very out there. And I've had probably 3 or 4 men that have been a bit nasty in the last week. Now, obviously, I look at things very differently, and I know where it's coming from with them, and I know why people attack me. Like, I get it completely. However, other people that haven't gone through your process, or haven't done any of the work themselves, will be going, why are you attacking me? Why are you victim, rather than being like, okay, I can either fuel this energy or I can stop that. And this is some of the wisdom that I want to share with you, because when I started doing the work with Debs, there was elements where I would step into victim a lot easier, and now it's like I just bat it away. And I think it's really important, because the darkness is going to rise. The division is going to take place. It's not going to disappear just in the next week. Like, people think it's going to get to the 3rd of November and everything's going to go. It's not. We need to cleanse this situation. Okay, so I just wanted to, like, if people are being mean to you right now, or if people are lashing out at you, this is exactly what we're talking about. They are leveling up to their own stuff. They're having to deal with things from 10 lives ago that they won't even know is 10 lives ago, but it's all coming up, revisiting emotions, and, you know, and it's just almost like a stirring pot right now, on top of the stirring pot that we've got with the lockdown in Melbourne, which is where Deb is based. Like, she's been in lockdown for a long time, you know, the restrictions here. So
10 weeks.
Such a long time. It's been either 1 or 2 hours to go outside, right? That's it.
Yeah, a couple of hours. It's changed now.
Yeah.
But, you know, you bring up a really valid point. See, if you align with being a victim to anything, you're in your personality, your ego, your mind, your earth software, your mind. So you have to grow and realize that you're not your mind or your earth software. You're way bigger than that. You're a soul matrix, right? So if you're being triggered, where you're being triggered is something you need to pay attention to on the inside. Why am I taking this personally, etc.? And, you know, on my website, you know that mind recording? Yes. I've got a recording, and it helps you put your mind, your earth software, to the back. So you don't get triggered so much. you have to realize there's a bigger picture at play, and this is why we're talking about this, right?
Absolutely.
Just giving the bigger picture.
Just so
It's all natural, this.
Just so everyone's aware, the website to gain that recording will be underneath this video in the description or above. I can't remember where on YouTube it goes. So all of Deb's details, if you want to contact her, we're going to speak about some of the therapies that she does today as well. If you want to reach out to Deb, if you want to go and listen to that recording, I recommend it. All of the details will be below this, okay, after the video. So sorry, Deb.
Cool. Cool. We like to be in the moment. That's how we work. Yeah, going back to that mind thing though, if you actually learn not to identify with that, you will find that you'll just know it's not about you. But you can utilize it as a tool. So if you're getting the same patterns of people projecting things towards you, definitely look within. But if people continue to do it, then you need to realize that that's just their stuff they're projecting onto you, and you've had, this before, and will continue to have it as you rise up, because, it's natural. You mentioned about this shift, there's almost like this sifting going on, like lower frequency and higher frequency. That's happening for a reason as well. So, I'd say to peeps out there, look, be mindful, be aware of where you're using your time, or who you're connecting with, or whatever, because you need to stay with the vibrations. Keep everything up. High vibe food, high vibe. If you're watching any TV, keep it high vibe. It's got to be something that's don't hang out with peeps if they're not serving you. There's a change in relationships going on here too. Right, so actually it's on that picture, guys. When you actually listen back to this, have a look on the picture, because what's happening is we're all clearing our own soul matrix, but you can't always do that when you've got people around you and stuff. So you do need to get out and spend time in nature, spend time alone and stuff, to work out what's yours and what's other people's. But relationships are really changing. This is huge, right? This includes marriages, friendships, all family, etc. So remember, we got this thing going on, a high vibe or a low vibe. It doesn't mean it's good and bad. It's just different frequencies. And what's happening in a relationship, right, is if you can picture the relationships as like, let's imagine, right, you're a soul cake, you're a circle, right? And then a marriage might mean another circle goes over the top. So you've got two circles overlapping. So we actually showed that before, and it's actually good to show it again. So you see, look at the circles. So the one that's overlapping is like how relationships used to be in 3D. That's what most people are running in right now. Yeah. But the two circles that are next door to it, where you got two whole soul matrices, because that's what the circle means, a soul matrix, that's how relationships are going. Yes. So I have that with my husband, for example. We're whole and complete, but we walk together. There's none of this conditional stuff. Oh, you've got to do this for me. You've got to be that for me. And what's happening, this is getting a bit tricky for people's relationships, because, some will grow and some won't. So there will be changes for some people, and that's just natural, okay? But some will get stronger through that, because they'll realize, oh, I'm going to take responsibility, and then you'll take responsibility, and we meet together in the middle. Wow, a relationship is totally different like that. And it's the same with friendships. You've got to really take ownership of your stuff. You talk about that with your peeps. Really take ownership of your own stuff and be responsible and become whole. What some people do, and we all go through this phase where we know quite a bit and we feel really aligned and connected, but then we try and help too much. And then you're like, oh, I know what you need. I know the book you need. And right now, I'd say to people, look, your job is to be the change in this world, like you are, babe. Be it, live it. Don't tell people what to do, because they're going to battle you in their mind, in their head. Just do it, be it, breathe it, live it, show it. That's what the world needs.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Last night on my membership call, so every Thursday night I do a membership call, and last night a few of the questions that came up for me were about relationships, and kind of like, I've been giving it this amount of time, like, what should I do about it? And my answer to them was, it's not down to me to decide that. Like, you need to make the decisions for you. You need to like take on what it is that your standards are going to be, or, you know, and people want somebody else to fix them or tell them what to do. And that's just not what this is about on the planet right now.
No.
It's about showing people what's possible. It's about holding space for them to make their own decisions, to grow. But because, you know, we're programmed from a lower vibrational state, we think, well, we need to blame someone. Well, who am I going to blame if I don't, you know? And I think it's really important that people recognize that what Deb is talking about here is literally just taking ownership of you and what you expect in love and do, and then sharing it with people in a way that it's not dictatorial, because that's what we're stepping away from. It's very much, this is where my standards are. Is that okay with you? You know,
for sure. So people are being called to be responsible, and I love that word, because able to respond. You know, and we all know words are like spelling, so you have to be careful what you're saying to yourself, or be aware of what you're actually saying. I don't even like that word mindful, actually, because I feel like a full mind is not what I want, you know. But, you know, being aware, being conscious of stuff. But yeah, you've got to be responsible for your own soul matrix, guys, and that might mean, so you may not be aware of what you've got outstanding in your matrix. Like, people often say to me, or I'll ask them a question before they come, what is it that you keep crossing? And then what we do is, when we go on a journey, it's like, boom, there's a life where they've done the same thing and they just need to come whole on it. That's all. It's very simple. Nothing I do is complex. It's just that I am a doorway to that high energy, and I keep myself clear, you know. And people can see very quickly that what they keep being shown in their human part of them, you know, the friend that keeps fronting up or abusing their time or whatever, it's something they've done before, so they needed to be whole on it. So, yeah, being responsible. The other thing you do awesomely well, babe, is be authentic. Oh my goodness. This world is full of facades and, you know, lies. So to be really truthful about your journey, about your path, and just to be authentic. So when a family member or a friend shares something, don't tiptoe around them and go, oh, but you know, tell them what you know. They don't have to receive it, it's up to them, but don't hide stuff you know. And you are out there, babe, with that. That's cool. Peeps need to follow you on that front, you know. Speak your truth, and the world needs that truth spoken right now, which you're doing awesome in your warrior self, you know. But people don't, they tiptoe around, right? And they're like, oh, I can't tell Auntie Sarah about that, she wouldn't understand. Well, guess what, guys? Everyone's waking up. So what actually happens is Auntie Sarah probably knows more than you blooming know. She's picking it up, but she don't know the words, right? Bless her heart. You get my point.
Yeah.
So when you start sharing, you start to realize, oh my God, these people are picking this stuff up. They just didn't know what it was.
No, absolutely.
So,
example of that. My dad is a glowing example of that. Honestly, I'm like,
bless him. He knows stuff now.
Yeah.
And every night when someone goes to sleep, babe, they're clearing their stuff, they're changing their DNA's, you know, changing, everything's happening. I mean, I love it at night because I get out of my body and I have a little look at what's going on with the kids and everything.
Sometimes we see each other.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah, we're in the galactic hood and we're like, whoa. So I love that. I mean, your life can be pretty exciting when you integrate your higher self, because you really do start playing it in all levels of yourself, and it can be really fun.
And can I just say something really quickly?
Go for it.
What I love about Deb is she shared very openly about my galactic self when we first met. But of course, my human was like, no, I can't take that on right now. I was like, I'm a human. Like, I get I've had past lives, you know, and I get all this stuff. But at no point could I conceptualize that actually I was just kind of like slipping between realms and there was multiple versions going on, and couldn't quite comprehend that. However, you know, somebody that's become quite close to me recently literally reached out to me yesterday, and he said, it's great to see you stepping back into your human, because he's noticed how for the last few months I've been very galactic. I've been very, like, I've been embodying that because that's what the world has needed. But literally the last few days I've been almost like saying to my human, okay, it's over to you, babe. Like, you can take the reins again. And this is the beautiful part of this journey, is that there is so many layers to us. And when I stand there and I say, you are more powerful than they've ever allowed you to be, it unlocks you to a level that you may start to comprehend what you actually are. You know, when people realize they've had so much weight on them, holding them down and stopping them from flying. And what Deb has basically done is given me the structure and given me the support and given me the help to be able to unpick and really get connected to every layer of Lucy.
Yeah. And the reason why you are connecting to every layer, including that galactic sister and the other parts of you, is because you've cleansed your soul matrix. You owned your shit, right? You owned it. And you're like, right, okay, I'm going to own that. And when you own something, what happens is they're like, if you tiptoe around this stuff and you only do something, one day and then not for 5 days or whatever, what you find is you'll kind of go up and down. When you really go for it, right, you'll clean things up pretty quick, and you'll start to, your perspective on everything changes, as you know, but you've got a place to realize, oh gosh, there's a galactic part of me. For example, like when I'm working with a client, you know, my voice can get pretty strong and directive. Well, that's an interdimensional lawyer in me, that I know that being, that's me, but it works through me when I work to make things happen for peeps, you know. It's like calling, or if I'm shifting shadow attachments or something, I'm like, well, hey, hold on a minute. Game's over, Rover. Out you go. And I know how to sort that. Why? Because I've sorted it in myself. But it's because my lawyer in me knows that. It's amazing. You'll start playing with different parts of yourself. It gets fun, right? And you do have to own your shadow too. You know that. You have been telling your peeps that. Because I've had people come to me and I'm doing sessions with them, and they're shadow, like playing a shadow galactic game, and we've been able to sort that out for them as well. So we've all played all the roles, guys. We've all been rapists and blooming murderers, and we've all been the victim and perpetrator. That's what cleansing your soul matrix is about, owning all of it, you know. And if you get in charge to on something, it might just be something that has been very deep in your own matrix, like the children for you. You know, that abuse. It's just that it's deep-seated in there, babe, and it makes you on a soul level do something about it. So good for you. Following that, that's where that serves. That energy serves you, babe. I know the kids will be fine because I speak and deal with the collective of the children through my own son, you know, because he's completely awake. But it's just, I get what you're doing and it's perfect, you know. And also what you're doing is waking up Jack next door. He's like, what's happening with this? People are fronted up to Buckingham Palace and
start flashing.
Babe,
There you are.
You know, it's that's authentic, it's truth speaking, and it's what the world needs, you know. But cleaning your soul matrix, you know, it can be quite quick. You can do this pretty swift when you do quantum healing. So we'll talk about what that means to me, for example. I mean, most people don't see it, right? But you actually end up seeing it. So for me, my brain is mapped, like holographic. Like, you know how you would have come to me before and said, oh, there's a little something out there. And you go, oh, I know, I'll get to it. And we come together and it's like, oh, there it is. The brain is interdimensional. You know, I think people lack the understanding of how they're made up. And so that's something I help you with as well. So, you know, you got your mind, right? And that's akin to like software. It's connected to every other person's mind. So you don't want to trust your mind, right? But it can help you find patterns. So you got your mind, it's software, guys. It's not who you are, you know it. Then you got your brain, it's a blooming computer. Start upgrading it. Do things like listen to solfeggio, harmonics, or binaural beats, and play these sounds on your ears. Get your brain mapped back together, you know. Then you've got your body, which, oh, hello, talk to it. It's your friend. You know, listen to it, strike the relationship with it. You know all about that. You would have told your peeps about that. Stop telling it what you don't like, because you're going to get more of that. And you know, I mean, it's so funny though. People will say to me often, oh my God, I have been saying that. Again, I've been saying that. And to be honest, right, the body right now is going through it, because we're moving from this carbon-based energy to this crystalline-based energy. That is monumental, right? So your body's going to ache at times. You're going to see some symptoms. Days you may need to rest. Days you will need to move it. You will have to make friends with your body. If you don't make friends with your body, it's going to battle you, and it's already in its own little battle. It's not a battle, but it's a real shift, and it hasn't been done before this way, right? So we've got to start realizing all this stuff. It's enormous.
We're expecting a lot from our bodies at the moment. Our physical bodies are going through so much. Like, I know personally, about 6-8 weeks before most other people get ascension symptoms, I'll get nauseous, or I'll get the ears going, or my eyes. There's certain days, and obviously everybody knows I'm on social media a lot, but I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, and my eyes are just merging into one, and I'm like, hey, I need to put my phone down and I need to go and lie down. And then the days, and I share this very openly, I can be sat there having a meeting with somebody and I literally have to go and lie on the floor. Literally, like, I just have to lie down for a second, and I lie on the floor, and about 15 minutes later I'm good as gold. But so I would say to people just exactly what you're doing. Again, you're just a model of example, right? When your body's telling you something, lay down, because we're having these shifts in brain, in our brain. We've got all sorts of things happening, and if you don't do that, you'll push through it, and then you'll feel very unwell, right? So naps, nana naps. Just go with a nana nap. I love a nana nap.
Yeah. And do you know what?
But now I'm like, I love a nana nap.
Don't forget the blanket. Exactly. But, you know, we do that in our family. Like, we all do a bit of a nap. And one of the things that we'll do is we'll put solfeggio on our ears, really gentle. And guys, you can check out what solfeggio are. I mean, they harmonize your brain, which harmonizes your body. So there are ways to work with that, and there's simple ways, because I still do that every day. And I have to tell you, I feel that that's one of the biggest things I've done. I've done it for over 5 years, where I've just listened to those frequencies and mapped my brain back. And now my brain, like, I mean, oh boy, I can hear when there's an ant in the pool, you know, or a bee's, you know, they're calling out. So I can hear that. So I've got the hearing, but I've also got the function in the brain. And I swear that solfeggio has made that just come back to what everyone can do if you're consistent, you know. Absolutely. So yeah, you got to make friends with that body, and you've got to allow the things for the body, you know, what's going on with the body, bless it. It should be your best friend right now, because you're using it and you're walking through it, you know. But yeah, I would also say, and you're on my page with this, girl, move your ass. Oh my God. You know what? When people sleep at night and they're clearing a whole load of stuff, what do? They get up in the morning and they're walking with that gunk around them. Guys, you have to, it's like you got to get up, you got to move it. Drink some clean water and move your butt, because you can actually change your mood in 10 minutes. And lately, I love the rebounders. Lately, the Bellicon, you've probably seen that. Tony Robbins, all those guys. But it's just enlivening your cells, and it sends the crap away. You have to oxygenate yourself. I mean, they're basics, but do people do it? Not consistently.
Yeah,
you're awesome with that, right?
That's the thing, you know, which is why my membership, I actually structure it so we do the tangible stuff first, because then the human can compute it, and then we do the other stuff afterwards. It's very interesting. Nice. But everything that you've said, I'm like, this is exactly it. You know, it is actually very simple when you know how. and when you've got the structure, and when you've got, you know, when you've got people that can guide you, and be an example.
Or just remind you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I feel like I remind people of what they really know. I want them to know that they know.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone's different because they know, you know, they remember certain things.
Yeah.
But there are non-negotiables right now that will make you glide through this time. Right. And that's really what we're all still going through it, but you can glide through it instead of really battling yourself, battling your body, battling your mind, you know, and stuff. So I would also say to people, because there's so much happening at night, guys, make sure you let go of everything. So like I wake up, right, and I just give thanks for the dream state. A lot of stuff I remember. I'm often, you know, out there doing work. Sometimes I wake up pretty tired from the old galactic, you know, boof boof. But, you know, I always give thanks. I let go of it and I reset my energy for the day. Yeah. So if people are getting up right now and just going straight to it or doing their stuff, they're going to find that they're going to be swayed by everybody. They won't have stability inside. So they've got to let go of their dreams and they've got to set their energy for the day. I never not do that. I just think that's a non-negotiable. Yeah, because right now it's so unstable out there, right? Yeah. So the world, it's unstable. So your stability's got to be in here. Yeah. It's got to be inside you. I agree. So making sure you set your energy for the day, you clear your dream state because there's so much going on. You know, you drink some water, you move your body, you just get basic and simple with it, but be consistent.
It's interesting. A lot of people are talking about dreams at the moment. I'm getting asked questions all the time. Lucy, what does this mean? What does this mean? For me personally, what I do every morning when I wake up, because I travel every night as well, my soul is one busy mama. She loves it. She's like, I'm just going to go and help everybody as much as possible. So what I do when I come back into my body and I wake up is I grab a journal and I write down everything that's there, because then it's out of me. And then I do my gratitudes, my affirmations, my intentions, because I have embodied completely what I need. This isn't what you need. This is, you know, you figure out what works for you, but I've embodied 100% what works for me. And getting that pen to paper is just getting it gone.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So dreams are very interesting. I'll tell you what I'm sort of picking up just about dreams. So some of it's like, you know, we're watching what's happening on the other realms. Some of it's clearing old lives, because we are all on automatic, whether we realize it or not. So everyone's matrix is being cleansed. So some of it's that. Sometimes if you don't remember your dreams, it might be because that information doesn't need to be on the planet yet consciously. So like, there's sometimes where it just gets blanked out, where I know I'm not to, you know, share something, you know, yet. Sometimes, so dreams are not just, they're a bit mixed up at the moment. Also, sometimes some of the shadow game that's still, you know, finishing its stuff. Sometimes that plays with people and they wake up really exhausted or really fearful. And, you know, at the end of the day, you can just let all that go. That's why I say you should always acknowledge your dream state, whatever is in it, whether you remember it or not, and let go of any energy from it. Because if you have been collecting fear, or, you know, there's been some funny stuff going on, you just let it go. You just consciously let it go. So dreams are funny right now, guys, and they can be really intense because you're doing other stuff. You know? And the more connected you become, you're like, whoa, I saw you. Oh, what do we do? And it's pretty cool.
The time for me that it really struck home is, as Deb said earlier, I'm extremely about the children. Like, what I'm doing for Freedom for the Children UK is because my soul knows it. My soul knows it to be true. However, you know, in the last couple of years, I've been going into the tunnels and I've been seeing for myself. And you know, I remember the first time I saw that, I was mortified when I woke up that I'd even like thought of something like that. But obviously it was the time that my soul needed to know, actually, you do remember this, you have been there, like, you are doing the right thing, you know. It's just, and that this is why for me, when you do see dark stuff in your dreams, exactly what Deb has just said is allow it to go.
Yeah, just intend it to go, because when you intend it's gone, the energy follows your intention. So always when you're setting intentions for things, you know, the energy is going to follow that. Because I always just set an intention before I'm with someone. Let's go back to tunnels for a minute, because I'll explain a couple of things that have happened with clients over the years. Because, you know, I've done thousands of quantum sessions, right? So this lady once went into a tunnel, right? Kind of type of tunnel you're talking about. And she was part of a sacrificial energy. She was a person that was actually partaking in this with young beings, right? So she was accessing in our session her shadow, a shadow part of her. So what happened was we brought a wholeness to that, right, for her and her soul matrix. But once she'd gone, I used that because I had my finger in that pie and went into that energy and started working in those tunnels and started blasting it. So I can use sometimes those things as access points. But people, you need to understand, sometimes they've actually, they may even be partaking in it now if they're a parallel soul. So, you know, there's this, I'm a parallel soul, and there's other parts of me even on the planet right now, I'm aware of them. And so another part of you could be partaking in something, and people may not be aware of it. But the good news is when you're in a quantum session, it's very easy to pick up. But, you know, all that sort of stuff, yes, you will get to see. And yeah, you realize that we all have both, all of it. We all have all of it, you know.
Absolutely. So Deb, can you explain from your perspective what quantum is? I think this would be a really good one for people.
Right. So I always think of it like this. Einstein said, right, you can't change a problem with the same level of thinking it was created in. Well, that pretty much sums it up. So for me, you know, once you've accessed who you are, you've cleaned your matrix, and you're a clear light doorway, you basically can access the origin of people's problems, right? You can only, like, the future of all healing is either going to be sound, the med beds, the beds that people can get in, or quantum, something quantum, a quantum process. So you've got to get above the din of the mind, the low vibration of the mind, to be able to, you know, access. So quantum is really what most people don't see, but it's the real, it's who you are. It's where most of you is. You project a tiny little bit here. So when you're doing quantum healing, the reason for doing it is you access the origin of something. Now, people try to fix their problems, like with their minds, with psychotherapy, counseling stuff. And I mean, I used to do that. So I know that if you're trying to fix it from the mind to mind, it doesn't hold effect. It might help for a while, but it doesn't hold. Quantum healing is going to get you to the origin of something, and things then can change like that if you accept it, you trust it. And the whole reason why I do what I do is to help people speed that up, because goodness knows we've all got stuff we just need to let go of, or get to the origin of. So that's what quantum healing does. Yeah.
Amazing. And what I think is amazing about it is everything you speak, everything you see, everything you feel, you're basically calling back in. And that's the way I like to think about this is, you know, literally everything, because you are so powerful. As soon as you start unlocking your power, you will recognize, and some people will be with me and they'll be like, hang on a minute, you literally just said that and it's happened. And that is the power of a human being. Once you get connected, once you surrender, and I want that word to be ingrained in everybody's mind, you have to just surrender to your absolute power. And that does mean falling in love with your shadow, like Deborah said many times. You've got to fall in love with your shadow and understand it and appreciate it, so that you can step forwards with it.
Yeah, I like the word, right? So I'm not keen on the word healing, because I always think if someone's coming for healing, they're broken, and they're not. No one's broken. Everyone's really, you know, they're whole. So I like to think of the reason why I put on my site, even because the words carry the vibration, right? Quantum healing, or wholeness via quantum healing. Wholeness, you know, that whole soul matrix. You just want a whole, clean soul matrix. That wholeness means you're neutral on all of it. Shadow, whatever parts you played. You've got the wisdom and the compassion now with you. You walk with it, live it, breathe it. But in order to sort that, it really is quantum practices that are going to do that. Otherwise, everything gets fixed from the mind, or, you know, hands on the body, whatever. It all helps. But if you really want to get access something, it needs to be quantum. And I've got so many examples of how people have accessed stuff, and boom, like they've gone straight into healing because it's been timing for them.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I've always said that, like, I love going for Reiki and I love doing all of that stuff, but I
it's good,
kind of like maintenance rather than like the big,
yes,
you know, it's just kind of, yeah, maintenance I think is the right word. It's like the little tweaks here and there, but it's not like when I do sessions with you, like we go deep, I have to rest afterwards, my whole world gets shaken up pretty much, you know, all of the stuff that has been coming up, like we get to pull it, like we dredge it up. I'm saying to people at the moment, everything's being dredged up to the surface, and that's what I, you know, this is why quantum for me has been such a huge thing. And the interesting thing about it is when I speak to people now, you know, I had an amazing example yesterday. I work with people that are quite sick, and literally off the back of one conversation, this woman has changed. Like, she looks 15 years younger from one conversation. And what I know I've done is I've been reminded from Deb of all of this stuff. And now what I do, the words that I speak, help other people's cells. And that's what we're talking about. It's on a cellular level.
Yes, and it's way beyond your mind, because the mind is trying to box everything, come to conclusion, fix it up from here. You know, it's very, when you do a quantum session, you know, it goes around the block, and you is no linear function to it, really, even though I do keep things in, you know, I try to keep some things linear to help the mind come along with us, but yeah, look, you know, once you do it from the top down, I always say you're sorting things from the top down, and you don't have to fix anything. You have to come whole on it, right? That's the main thing. But some people do have soul fragments. They need soul fragments. They need this back. And when you think about it, anyone's problems or anything they've got outstanding in their soul matrix, that's basically a filter to their high self. So it's basically stopping you connect or not connecting all the time. But yes, all those hands-on Reiki, I mean, I'm a Reiki master too, but it was just that I wanted to get there and do it down, like from the top down, and it all helps, you know. And I have to say something here as well. I'm a facilitator of, as you know, of Dolores Cannon's QHHT. Now, I mean, Dolores passed away 5 years ago. I have to say that when I found that helped me find my own brand of magic as well, because I've got my work, but I also still facilitate that. QHHT helped me, what could I say, like run the quantum airways. Like, it's like I was flying quantum and seeing patterns in people, and it brought me alive. So that was very, very great. That's an in-person session. You did that with me once, you know, when you came here. That helped me, but again, that made me access that type of energy and make me realize, you know, it is mostly unseeable, or it's not perceivable through our normal minds, you know, but we can use our visuals for it. So it's pretty good. But big shout out to the QHHT people out there, and Dolores Cannon, and I love her daughter, Julia Cannon, because she is really keeping up the great work, but she's also got her own work about the body. And people don't realize, you know, the body's storing stuff. I mean, sometimes I do a session. I've done this before where I've gone into parts of the body and the body will talk to you as well. So you can do it through the body, forget the mind, or quantum, go from the top down. Yeah.
And I find when I'm working with people with chronic disease, their body speaks to me. That's the beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very intuitive medically. Very, very intuitive.
You're very good, because you have a lot of knowledge on your body, right? You do have that. So what happens is when you actually have that knowledge, and like you've said before, what you get to know is your job to share it. So that's something that's very important, because you've literally been there, done that, babe. You've healed your thing, and you did it through energy work, physical work, all of it. Yeah. So you approached it holistically, you know. So a lot of people, before, when they get to me, actually have normally gone through a whole load of things, and they're at the end of it. Yeah. Because you do have to be ready for this stuff, eh? Don't you think? Because otherwise it could just send you in a spin.
Well, I have no clue. I have no clue. All I heard was one of my friends say about you, and I was like, my soul just went, like, literally the words were out of my mouth. I was like, I need to meet her. Literally, and I don't even remember the words that got spoken. I was like, I need to meet that woman. And the next thing, I've got your website, and I've reached out to you, and instantly, and how many times have I said to you in the first year or two, I was like, no freaking clue what's going on, but I'm just gonna trust you. And now, like, I can completely understand, conceptualize everything. I don't know how I do it with people, but when we do a session, I'm like, right, I get it. I get what's going on. Yeah. And, you know, now I really connect with the galactic. Yeah. I couldn't comprehend before. I was like, I get it. I don't ever think that we're just one, you know, to anybody that out there that thinks that we are the only race in the whole of the world and the whole of the universe. Like,
how dumb is that?
Think bigger picture, you know, like, think bigger picture. You know, this isn't a manipulation. Think bigger picture. Like, really? Do you really think that? Or is that just something that you've been conditioned to believe? And, you know, like, I don't know how I do what I do. I don't know how I get the results.
You don't have to, babe, because it's great.
And to be honest with you, the mind would want to know in the old version. This one is like, nope, I'm just doing my job. They'll tell me when my job needs to change. And it's as simple as that. Because I know.
And that's that surrender you're doing, right? Exactly. It's perfect, but it's not surrendering to the world. It's surrendering to yourself. There's a difference. Yeah. Because the truth is, if you really think about it, right, everyone talks about ascension, this ascension path we're on. I mean, I sort of think of it in a way as descension. It's like we're coming into ourselves, but the words don't mean too much really. But when you think about it, it's not you doing it. It's not the human doing it. It's the higher self, you know, the other parts of you. So if you get caught up in the head, or you're trying to intellectualize everything, you stall yourself, really. So yeah, with quantum work, I think people have got to be ready for it, because they've got to have exhausted their mind a bit. And I love what you just said about, I don't need to understand it or understand it even. I just, my mind's at the back anyway, so I'll follow with my higher self, because she knows what she's doing. Absolutely. And you do that. You're living, breathing proof, babe. There couldn't be a better example.
My travels are living proof. I end up in countries and I'm like, what on earth am I doing here? And then I'm like, oh, like Cambodia, when we spoke in Cambodia.
Oh, yes.
And it was all about the children then, wasn't it? It was all of the stuff that I needed to know. And that's 2.5 years ago now. You know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, time's a funny thing, yeah?
So
in a way, it's so amazing, because in a way, when I look at you now, and I've, you know, and it's like you're living, breathing proof that if you're just consistent, you just tap things from the top down, you get quantum with it, and then let go and follow the flow. You see, if you're like you're doing it right now, imagine if other people just start doing this and they're walking their path. It fascinates me, because when I've done a session with someone, you know, my higher self will often show me the effects of that on an energetic level, and it's quite profound. And I always think, wow, especially when I get a mum, like I've got a mum, bless her, and it's like, oh, here's a mum, and she affects all her kids, bless her, you know, then the husband comes in for the session. I mean, that's what's happening right now, right? I get mum, because it's normally the girls first, not always, but mostly, and then boom, 4 months later, the husband's in, something like that, and then the teenager's in, because, you know, I do work with the young people as well. So it's like, oh my God, to see people, even in family units coming on. You're a leader, you're doing it from your place. That's one type of person I love to play with, you know, like the way we do. And then there's families that are doing it now too. Oh my, some people don't have karma in their family. Some of them do have this unit thing going on. This world needs, like, you know, family units as well, because you show the way. you know, and that's pretty much what we do as well, I think.
And I'd really like to just make a comment on that, because one of my, although I'm not a mother this lifetime, I am an absolute advocate of conscious parenting, conscious living. And I was very, very blessed to spend five days, I think it was, with you and your family. It was absolutely amazing. I was in Melbourne. I went to stay with Deb. She invited me to stay, which is just such a gift.
That's unusual.
Yeah, and I'm saying, honestly, I literally, when I say I feel part of their family, I literally feel we are family. If
we
not
feel the same.
You know? So
yes.
What I witnessed when I was there was the absolute optimum level of consciousness in a family unit. And I learned so much, is how I have been able to become super conscious with my little sisters, who are 8, the twins. But also I've been able to ripple that through the whole of my family. And, you know, hearing that mum is coming or dad is coming, and then the family come. A lot of the stuff that I do, you know, I've got amazing people all over the world that I work with, and they'll say to me, oh my God, my husband has changed. And it's because you are embodying the truth, and you're giving them the permission. Not that they need permission, but from a human level, people kind of do think that they need permission, and you're giving them the permission to go on and grow and be their best version. And I just think, you know, I think it's kudos to you, Debs, and I've got goosebumps all over me. Like, what you live and breathe is fantastic through your family. Your child is just the most incredible soul. He's so incredible. Your husband is amazing as well. But I want people to have hope. If you are there at the moment and you think, like, I'm lost, my child is a drug addict or whatever, no, this is the time where we can level up. This is the time where, if we can step into, you know, the truth of the situation, and that may be that in 10 lives ago that you were somebody that abused children, which is why this lifetime you've got an addict as a child or something like that. Now, I know on a human level that's a really screwed up conversation to have, but allow this into your soul. Allow it to, like I always say, allow it to flow through your cells, and take what you need and let go of what you don't need.
Yes, for sure. You know, it's very interesting when you say that, because this life for a lot of people, I'm going to be honest, is quite an intense one.
No shit, Sherlock.
Think about it. Exactly. But if you think about it, if you look back at that picture, right, and you're a soul matrix and all your lives are coming in at once to be cleared, because that's what's happening. Basically, all of your old lives are coming in towards you and your wisdom, and once you've integrated all of that and you've got hold on that, you line up with your higher self, and boom, you start living that 5D life, which is pretty much what we're doing now. So if you think about it, you would have chosen to come into a life with a lot of stuff. You're like, oh, I've got to nail it in this life. Let me just get it all sorted in one go. So a lot of people's lives are intense because of that. They're doing a lot at once, and that's okay. I'm here to tell you, you can actually, if you do quantum work, you can quickly speed move through that. Why? Because you could say the planet needs it. The planet needs us to do that so badly, because what she's showing and what everyone's reflecting on the outside, everything, it's all a reflection of what's inside.
Exactly.
You have to get within with it. You can't get away from that. A lot of people still project, even spiritual people, like they're projecting out, and I'm like, yeah, but come on, own it. Own your shit.
Right now, like, honestly, I am shocked at some people that I would look at as mentors, or maybe not my mentor, but other people's mentors. And I'm shocked, and I'm not being nasty by saying that. I'm not being derogatory. I'm just so blown away by the dredging that is taking place, and people that we think have their shit together, all of a sudden you're like, oh, you don't have your shit together at all. You know, it's very...
Well, you see another level of their stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, another level of their stuff's coming in, right? So I'd say to people, look, own it. Own your stuff. It's okay. It's not about being perfect. When it comes up, deal with it. You know, stay conscious in the moment to stuff. But don't project onto other people. That's the thing, because that's like being a victim. As soon as you slip into that mode, actually, you've got no power to change yourself. because you've really slipped into, oh, poor me and all of that. Even if you're not saying it, you do slip into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything that people have got right now is happening for them. I see there's a divine game, a divine sort of thing at play. But people don't like it because and often people say to me, oh, that's not mine. And I'm like, well, maybe not now in this life, but 10 lifetimes ago it was.
Yeah.
Because what people have done is before, right? We used to come into the planet, create a bit of karma or have some experiences, pop off, come back in, and it's accumulated energy that's been unresolved, not in wholeness. So that's why this time is profound. It is. Right.
But so much is coming up right now. So much.
Yeah.
It's just constant, right? If it's not the election, it's the, you know, the children.
Yeah.
It's not the children. It's the, you know, just the virus. Like there's so many things right now. We're being battered.
Yeah. So like, for example, you know, the Me Too thing, you know, with the females, you know, so all of those things, the Me Too, the children, all of it, it's almost like coming up from under the ground. It's like ancestral stuff. It's got to come up. And in a way, it comes up and it's purged. And then it's recorded in the Akashic records. And then it kind of goes away. If you notice, the Me Too's kind of like drifted away a bit. And the racism thing then came up. Yeah. Remember, that came up. And now that's starting to drift away. So it's very interesting when you look at it from the top down. You see the perfection of things coming up. Right, and then that they're being recorded. We're at the end of a paradigm. Yeah. We're at in the end game, and so it is intense, but you can flow through it. Yeah. And going back to families, this is a really interesting thing. Don't tell your hubbies and your wives what to do, guys. Like, you've got to model it. Don't tell your kids what to do either, because you see, if you're being the change you want to see, you know, you'll see they'll follow you. Like, I didn't tell my husband to start meditating. He started it through seeing me and seeing the effects of it. Caleb, he naturally did it with me, you know. But if you tell people what to do, they're going to push against you. Their personality is going to do that. So I'd say to all people out there, avoid telling people what to do, be it, and make sure that you show it that way. Because that's a recipe for disaster right there.
What just came through to me when you said that is, I remember when I was at the start of my journey, I was probably about 2 years in, like I'd gone through a huge awakening because of my physical being taken away. I'd gone through this huge awakening. I'd probably done one session with Deb, and about a year down the line, I'm there like, you can do this and you can do that, and everyone was like, whoa.
They can't take the high energy. Yeah. It's really funny because your loving nature wants to share it, right?
Yeah, of course. But this isn't about control of yourself or anyone else. This is about quite the contrary. It's relinquishing your control and saying, I have to be okay with this person. Like, Deb and I know that I've got a twin flame on the planet, right? We're not going to go anywhere today, but we know that I've got a twin flame on the planet. And and my vibration scares the shit out of my other version of myself, because it means that they have to level up. And of course, I want to help it. But as soon as you surrender that, as soon as you go, do you know what? I've got to be okay with that version of me not actually uprising this lifetime. And as soon as you've got that, life becomes so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, because you're not using energy to try and make something happen, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Focus inward on yourself, be the change, modeling. Same with the kids, you know, when you're working with the kids. See, my story is a bit different with Caleb because I birthed him awake. I'm not sure if I've told you the full story, but I used to connect with him in spirit before he came through my body. So we knew
that. It's interesting you say that, because I've got a little girl talking to me constantly at the moment. Just throwing it out there.
Park that for a moment. We'll take that into a session. But here's the thing, right? I was talking to him before he came through me, and I said to him, what do you need? Like, how are you going to remember we're talking in spirit, you know? And he's like, touch me 2 places on the head and I'll remember. Guess what? He did. Yeah. You're seeing it, right? So as he grew up, like, he just kept bringing more and more of his soul in, and I could feel it. But we remembered each other. I've got so many. I mean, I've got 2 books about it. Let's put it that way. We won't go there, but you know, a lot of the children that are coming in right now can come in and stay awake. I mean, I even had him in the schooling system, and he was at a nice little school for primary years, but he's homeschooled now. Actually, I didn't tell you that, but he made that decision, babe. He doesn't want to be in that fractious energy, and he wants to own his work, and he's got, you know, action mode going on. Yeah. So he said, can I do that? I said, yeah. And it was a bit of work to go through that process, but yeah, so I mean, really,
the wisdom in these kids, Deb, is mind-blowing, right? It's absolutely beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I see it in my little sisters. They, like, one of my little sisters told me that I was a scullery maid in a past life. I mean, and most normal parents and human beings would be like, what are you talking about? Whereas she knew she could say it to me, and I would trust and explore. And this is what's happening. Like, these little, what I call little beings, are coming through, and they're bringing us the wisdom that we've forgotten and reminding us. So to Deb's point, we do need to empower them and allow them to, I'm not saying let them rule the roost, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is like, allow them their flow and listen and hear what they have to say, because they are so important.
They need your presence. Like, kids need presence. They need you to clear your soul matrix and get in alignment. If parents often say to me, what can I do for my kids? And I'm like, get in alignment, clear your shit, because that's affecting your child. I mean, keep it real, right? It's a bit of a different situation with Caleb, because, you know, I was in alignment before. So with him and I, it's about how we're serving, you know, other people, and how we will. There's things that we're going to bring out to the world soon about that. So, because he's 13, guys, nearly 13, and he's completely awake to who he is. He knows who he is on many levels. Not who he is, more what he is. We're all what's, not who's. We're actually way more than, you know, just one thing. But the kids need alignment. They need you to show them, like, even things like, you know, when Caleb was a kid, you know, he'd be talking about things in his imagination. Parents out there, please don't say to the kids, oh, is that your imaginary friend? That's not real. And just say to them, oh, I would sit with Caleb and say, let's go on a journey. Let's see what we can see. Let's go into that space, instead of going, oh, that you're playing with an unreal friend, that's not real, etc. I mean, we've all had that banged out of us, right? The other thing is things like, you know, if you want them to tidy their room, and we've got to think about being tidy. I mean, that's just my thing, and well, it's actually a family thing, but I'd say to Caleb when he's younger, well, actually I did this, I'd say to him, come, let's walk into your room, and he's got all his toys out. I say, how's that feel? And he'd be like, because he could feel it. I say, let's do teamwork, and let's tidy up. We'd tidy up, and then I'd get him to walk out the room and come back and say, how does that feel? And he'd be like, yeah, kids know it. They know it by feeling. They don't need a load of words, but you got to do teamwork. Don't dictate, tidy up. Say, hey, let's do it together. Yeah. Be a team member. And we've got this team thing happening, right? You saw this in the house. So it's not like, oh, mum always does this, dad always does this, Caleb does this. It's like, no, teamwork, you know? So we share the load. And I think a lot of women really struggle because they're doing everything, like in their family unit. I'm just generalizing, but this happens a lot. You don't have to. You got to get on. You got to be a team. Absolutely. So all these things that I'm putting in the book are going to be key. But the most important thing, a child needs a aligned parent, a clear parent, and they need your presence. And you do that with your sisters. Being present, they'll start sharing with you, and it becomes very fun. Yeah. You know,
it really does. And I honestly, I cannot say how grateful I am to you for showing me that, because although I appreciated and understood conscious parenting, to actually witness a unit for those days work as smoothly as it did, like it's ingrained in my mind. It's ingrained forever, and I'm truly, truly grateful to you.
You know, and I'm modeling stuff that you know, really, and how you'll do it. but guys, family life can be such a blessing. Like, and that's not, it's not an intellectualized thought. It's the way you feel with each other, you know. There's like a synergy, like you answer each other's questions, or you remind each other of stuff, or you keep each other honest. You know, when someone says something, I think, oh, that's not very, you know, it's not so positive. I'll say, oh, so is that what you want to create? You know, because they've, you know, may have said something like, I said to Kelly the other day, oh, it's a lovely day today. And he said, Mum, you know, it's going to rain tomorrow. And I said, son, I'm not in tomorrow, I'm in today. And he goes, oh, he started laughing. So we keep each other honest, like, so we're present. And I'll tell you what, when you're present, oh my God, you feel each other in a different way. You feel the love. Guys, you want to, you know, you want to snuggle up with your husband. You want to sit on the couch with your child and just listen to them. It's when you're present and you're aligned, your whole life changes. Family unit, friendships, connections, and the ones that are not meant to be there won't be there, the friendships, because, you know, you're playing in a different realm, you're in a different frequency, and you got to make your choice. Don't don't do a bit of both, because you're going to feel stressed trying to please someone over here, and then just live and breathe your truth. And you know, there's amazing way you can
I have loved this so much. Honestly, all of my subscribers are going to be like, you need to do another one, because every time I do an interview with someone, they're like, do another one with her. Deb, you are so good for my soul. I absolutely love you so much. I'm just blown away that you said yes. To everybody out there,
I was.
I actually proposed to Deb about 2-3 years ago. Hey, I'm going to do a seminar, and I'd really love you to come and do a bit at the seminar in person. And Deb was kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll feel into this. And obviously times have changed so significantly right now that we've taken everything online. And I literally did not expect you, as I've been honest with you and said, I didn't expect you to say yes. When you did, and you were like, my higher self has told me that this is the time to do this, I was completely blown away. So thank you on behalf of myself, my higher self, and just everybody that I know is going to get the activation codes and all of the
there's energy going on
from this. You know, that's, and I know it, I'm feeling it, and I know that they're going to feel it as well. So I'm just going to stop the recording, and then I'll speak to you in a sec. To everybody, thank you very much for watching. If you want more content like this, do remember to comment below, and all of Deb's details will be below for you to be able to reach out. Do reach out. She's a game changer. She will absolutely help you in just the most incredible way. So right, lots of love, everybody. We will see you soon.